topics to cover, operations, the donuts, the coffee, or whatever. And you'll see the quality of your audience change drastically for the better with the meetup, and you will see attendance numbers go down. The second year we had PodCamp was at the Boston Convention Expo Center. Jeff Pulver donated about an aircraft carrier worth of floor space to us. And we had about 1,700 people sign up, but we really only had, I think, 800 show up. So obviously things like planning for catering and stuff became very, very difficult. So the third year we added the transaction charge for the first time, which got us, I don't know, more manure than any farmer could ever possibly want to use. If you'd like some, I have some leftovers. What was interesting about it, though, is that the no-show rate went from 70% to 5%, which for organizing a meetup was kind of nice. And the people who showed up, same crowd as here, not the exact same people, same crowd, were actually there to get something out of the event. We said, we're not making a profit on it, so you can check it out for yourself. But the pay barrier, if you're going to organize a meetup, to get you a better crowd, but a smaller crowd.
Well, I was talking to Bob Collins on Museum, we're at the social media breakfast now, and he was saying they just put it on a $7 tag just because he was sick of having all these people sign up, run it, and then run out of space for people to sign up, and then people didn't show up. And he said, $7, he's like, and people would say, well, I'm not going to eat. So now he labels it coffee, food, and networking for $7. And it's $7, but sure enough, even a little bit you pay for it, you're more likely, you're not going to cancel as quickly.
And it really is true that just throwing a little bit of cash at something makes you care a lot more. It's like the gym membership trick. I mean, you only pay for the lights in the gym for so long before you have to cancel your membership. So I mean, they have that idea with breakage. I mean, it really changes the model. The other thing I found though is, my God, if you charge like a really ridiculous amount of money, Amber Naslin and I were at the Community 2.0 conference, and there were seriously like maybe 50 people there, tops. But this guy worked for the NASDAQ, this guy worked for Amex, this guy owned a country. And, there sure wasn't a whole lot of the Kumbaya crowd there. I mean, I got invited, I couldn't have paid to go in. And, that's a difference too, is, I mean, it's interesting the dynamics of where your price point is, who comes and why.
PodCamp will not be $2,700 next year. Okay, let's see. The last one from the mailbag before we go to live is Skip wrote in saying, we have a small opt-in B2B house list that receives a monthly newsletter, and after 9 months of testing, our newsletter is well received based on feedback. Very low subscriber rate. We recently, quote, acquired, I don't know how I got that, a list of several thousand businesses that are in the same industry as the firms on our list. We would like to convert as many people on the new list as possible to our opt-in house list. At the same time, we don't want to lose our status with our email provider. What do you suggest for converting all those folks to our opt-in list?
Give them, wow, acquired. That's dangerous. I wonder how they acquired.
That's what I have some ideas.
There's lots of ways, but you can also buy them legal ways. I think they should definitely think about, being very honest, very forthcoming with them, and produce good content for them. Obviously, they're obviously doing the newsletter right if their audience, their current audience, likes it and is staying around. And they should make it very clear to these new people, hey, this is why I'm writing you, this is how I got, maybe not how I got hold of it, but be very honest on it. And continue giving that good content. Say, listen, come on over, join. Don't make sure you're letting them opt in. Don't do this, hey, I just subscribed. All you have to do is opt out. That's the wrong way to do it. Give them the option to opt in and join. And you may not get them all, but that's why, and do it once, do it maybe twice. Third time, you're going to be pushing it.
As I'm listening and not paying attention, I was thinking about the fact that Bill Sell, just took our email.
Your first name field.
Bill. Dear first name field.
I love those.
Dear first name field. And of course, the guys who are sending me this email are like, ha, Peter Kim, and all these kind of dudes I don't want to look like a douche in front of. And it's like, thank you, Bill. Dear first name field. So there's always a lot of ways to let your brand get shot in the foot. And, add one employee, you get one more chance to lose your life. But I think the opt-in message is really, really important. I think it should be brief. I really loathe the, here's my fast email, and at the end, would you consider joining because this is the kind of stuff you'll get? Make it a very custom letter. I know you would. You'd be, dear first name, and if I don't have one, dear person I know from the internet, or whatever. Make it brief, and then say, I just really love your business. Because then, of course, you only convert the people who say, okay, and probably your next newsletter, there will be an opt-out out of it. Your percentage will change, but it'll only be that one hit, and then you'll be okay.
Yeah, see, we've done things like that in the past with PodCamp, with the acquisition list. take that list, dump it into webmail, and then do a follow on those people first in a social network before you even send out the email, because follows are pretty casual, pretty random, they're pretty typical, but it provides a little bit of name recognition, and it also validates the emails being correct. So you know that if they're signed up to a social network with that email, they're probably checking some part of it. Then, when you've cross-related who's followed and who's not followed, you send an email to people you've gotten to follow them. The trick with the email is do a Taguchi sign. So,
What?
Does anyone here know what Taguchi testing is? Okay, good. This is something. Here's
not slow.
Must be like real marketers or something.
What do you say?
Taguchi.
Oh, you're saying Taguchi.
Yes.
Okay.
I thought Taguchi are those things you had to feed or they
Oh
died.
my gosh. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, what?
No, Taguchi testing is Genichi Taguchi in 1953 invented designs of experiments, ways to do things. And what you do, if in your email service provider, if you do a lot of mailing, they probably have this function where our sponsor, Blue Sky Factory, has it. You set up different creatives, different subjects in your email to test it to your audience. You send out to 10% of your list, all these different subject lines, all these different pieces of creative content, and then the software will measure in the period you specify, I usually say 24 hours, which of all those combinations at the same time had the highest open rate, the highest click rate, and then it will send the other 90% of the email out after it's made that analysis. So
See, I know you use Blue Sky too, and do you know if we can do this?
No. I know nothing.
Is Tim here?
Right.
Tim from Blue Sky? No, okay, they need a
Hey, what's up with Blue Sky not having gum this year? They've always had gum, but now they have cups on the table.
You can be in them.
Questions?
All right, on that note, okay, first of all, let's give them Blue Sky cups. It'll be green. There they are. Wait, are they a sponsor of this show?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, let's go to questions. You guys want to run on mics? Who's got a question for the people who pee in cups?
I get to do the math of evil.
Who knows what Amber's going to ask? That was me.
You email later. Yeah.
Can't wait.
So here's the issue with the email marketing and the email newsletter thing. You get these people who are, we need to reach this many people. We need to have this many people click. We have to have this many people open it. My problem is the then what? So what's your advice for people who are so obsessed with the front end numbers that the conversion problem on the back end, which is what they're going to do with the information in the email, is lost in the fray?
I don't worry about those people because they go out of business really fast.
That's
Yeah.
you though.
Yeah, but you need the conversion process. You need to have the second half to follow. It's kind of important. And that's something that you have to test internally. You have to figure out which of the channels is performing best. If you don't have good metrics on your call center, on email, on your web page, and all that stuff, you don't know which channels are converting the best, you're kind of going to be